Today we're going to be talking about something a little differently than what we usually talk about. My usual YouTube rantings are nice and all, but I feel as if I finally need to get into what honestly bothers me in today's society, and that's going to be women in the workplace. No, I do not think that women do not deserve to be in the workplace. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I find as if women have the same capabilities as men to achieve things in the workplace. However, you find that a lot of articles and politicians will be coming out and talking about how women are not doing well enough. I find this utterly bullshit, and I'm going to use some anecdotal evidence because that's honestly all I can give you. So we're going to start off by talking about my own mother. So my own mother, when she was much younger, she wanted to be in veterinary science. Except she didn't continue being a vet. Why didn't she continue being a vet? Well, there were a couple reasons. One, she really didn't actually want to work with sick animals. She wanted to work with happy and healthy animals. She's an animal lover like myself. The other was that she didn't want to then go and find a job that might have her moving around from the place where she was at the time. And finally, she wanted to be around for her family. So what did she do instead? Well, she went to school and she got a degree in education, became a teacher, and then subsequently got 5 master's degrees. My mother is so qualified, in fact, that she could have probably been superintendent of her school district probably about 10 years ago. She got all these degrees while my brother and sister, whom are older than me, were very little. And while she was taking care of the kids, at night occasionally she would go online and she would do online classes to get enough credits to then get another degree. This is one of many examples in which somebody is able to work hard and get results based on their hard work. Now, why didn't she take a higher position? Well, she didn't want to take a principal or superintendent job because she wanted to have her summers so that she could spend time with her children and her husband. Almost like certain times you'll have to make decisions in life that may or may not be lucrative for your job, but it's more based on what you want to do in your heart than what society wants you to do for a job. This goes on even further. She speaks to other women who are in jobs that do not very much speak to their interests, and she tells them, you can do it. You can go, you can take online classes, you can get degrees, you can get the education that you need. It just takes a little bit more time management and probably an hour out of your time every day. And a lot of these women are so impressed when they meet my mom because she is honestly a superwoman. But that's just my personal experience with her. Let's go on to somebody else. My sister has a master's degree as well in education, and she uses her education as a behavioral kindergarten teacher, meaning she teaches young 4 to 5 year olds who have behavioral problems based in some mental disorders, some home issues, etc., and stuff like that. And she comes home laughing and smiling, telling us stories about how unique and interesting all of these kids are. So let's go to my experience in university. Specifically, let's talk about my experience with women in STEM. So I was in a computer science program, and I struggled so hard. I was not very good at test taking, and writing code by hand was something very difficult for me to process. I'm more of a trial and error type. However, my lack of ability to write it down translated into my ability not to recall information that I would ordinarily be expected to know. But there were plenty of girls in STEM in that program who were more than willing to help. One person in particular, she was so good that back then, and before graduation, she got an offer for an interview with Google. Everyone, women, men, girls, boys, whatever, everyone looked at her and said, "You deserve this. You've worked your ass off, and now you can reap the benefits of your hard work." Just the interview, that was good enough for everyone to be in utter awe of this person because she worked so hard. I don't know where she is now. I was never one of her close friends. She was just kind to me. And so I hope she's doing well. But a closer friend of mine, she was taking organic chemistry. Now, chemistry, I am not very good at science. No. But an organic chemistry is like biology, chemistry on steroids, and it's very, very, very complicated. Well, as it turns out, this girl is so dedicated to what she's doing, and she actually has a passion for this information. So she would show me like a homework or a test because I was curious. I wanted to know what it looked like. And I didn't understand a word on that. She even asked me for help sometimes, and I told her flat out, "Look, I have no clue." And she would beat herself up if she didn't get like a B. And eventually, she ended up graduating, got her degree, and I believe now she is working for a pharmaceutical company. So let's go back and remember what we're talking about here. News outlets, politicians are all saying that women are not doing well in the workforce, or they are being held back in the workforce. Whom is holding them back? Because interestingly enough, it almost seems as if a lot of women in high ends of the workforce are saying these things, almost as if they are proving contrary to their point by them simply speaking. Like, there's a problem, we need to fix it. Wait, aren't you proof that the problem doesn't actually exist? And in fact, the problem is based on merit and hard work. And if people don't necessarily show that hard work, then they don't deserve to get to the position where they are. And if you're thinking to yourself, oh, well, these are just, anecdotal things, this isn't actually real world, that's fine. Let's go into the real world. My first independent contracting job. My boss for that job was a woman who owned her own company. My supervisor in the job that I have now is a woman who has 4 levels of software engineer over me, and she's a supervisor. So she knows her stuff. She has done what I have done. She has worked her way up through the ranks, and she deserves the position that she has. The most important thing that you can remember when dealing with this situation is that there are people who will prove your point to the contrary. I guarantee you there are people who are hard workers who don't produce the results. Hard work and merit is good, however, you need the results, especially to prove that you are capable to do the job. Just like if you were a doctor, if you were a surgeon, and you studied your ass off, but you couldn't perform surgery, should you be a surgeon? Absolutely not. I believe that anybody can do what they set their mind to. If you have passion in your job, if it is something that you can be proud of, when you go home and you tell stories about things that you've accomplished at work, you will be so much happier than if you go home after working at a call center or working at McDonald's or working at whatever, and you don't get to do anything. The extent of your job is essentially talking to people and relaying information to somebody else who will then cook it, and you are restrained in your creative outlet. If you can be creative in what you do for a living, and or you can be proud of the work that you do, then you will be happy doing your work. regardless of whether it is in STEM, regardless of whether it is in education. You can do whatever you want. If you are proud, if you can do the work, if you can put forth the effort, get the results, you can be whatever you want to be. But that's all that's irking me today. I'm gonna leave you guys with that. If you guys have any questions, comments, I would love to hear them. Let me interact with you guys. Otherwise, I will see you guys soon.